Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's that time. It's time for the NWAC Selection Show. I'll be your host, Kirk Rowland, and we've got the Executive Director of the NWAC with me, Marco Azurdia. Marco, the Oscars will be a little bit later here today. I guess this is our version of the Oscars because we're going to have a really fun party coming up next week up in Everett for the NWAC Championship Tournament. And today we're going to find out who's playing who in the tournament.
Absolutely. We're excited about it. This is what the kids practice for all fall and all winter, all summer. And we'll find out today who's going to draw who.
All right. Well, talk a little bit about the draw itself and how that transpired and how that worked.
On Tuesday in our office, we drew the 4 number 1 seeds. The first number 1 seed that was drawn goes to the 8 o'clock game. The second number 1 seed goes to the 6 o'clock game. The third number 1 seed went to the 10 o'clock game. And then the last number 1 seed went to the 10 a.m. game. Then we drew the 4 seeds. The first number 4 goes to the 8 o'clock game and corresponding down the line. So we're excited. When we looked at the brackets after they played out, I think people are going to be excited about some of those first and second round matchups.
Oh yeah, well, for the first time in a long time, the defending champion is not going to be there. It was such a great year for Spokane last year, and I know Coach is disappointed, but that just goes to show the toughness of the East and the South, and really the toughness of the NWAC. It's tough to get in this tournament.
Absolutely. It's always tough to be a defending champion. Every time you go out, everybody's giving you their number 1 shot. And so it will be interesting, but at least there'll be a new champion, and it's wide open, I think, in terms of what and who it could be.
All right. Well, one person that is watching our broadcast here this afternoon is Jim Jackson, the compliance director of the NWAC. And of course, Jim, the longtime AD and great coach, and he was an All-American athlete on the wrestling mats, and he kicked a lot of big opponents in his day, and he's got one right now in his health issue. And we just want to say, Jim, we're with you, man. We know you can come through on this. You'll be back on the job, and it's nice to give a shout out to the good old JJ right here.
Absolutely. He's a great man, great guy, loves student athletes, and he's a battler, and I'm sure he's going to come out on top.
And you know what he's saying right now? Let's go. Let's find out who everybody's playing here in this first round. So let's do it. Let's go to our selection show and find out who's going to be playing in the first round of the NWAC Championship Tournament, which will be in Everett. So let's go to the bracket. There's a look at it right there. And so let's see who our first. This is going to be Umpqua. They get the 10 a.m. game. Boy, the Umpqua Riverhawks. What a team. I mean, 29-1. They were looking at that perfect season. Dropped one the last week to Lane, but unbelievable team. Dave Strickland, I mean, he's Mr. 800. This guy's won 800 games, 5 of them at Umpqua. It's pretty amazing what he's done. His 23rd year down there in Roseburg, and he has got a ton of players. Jordan Stotler, she's going to Portland State. She is awesome. She's a great player. She can do it all. I mean, a box score stuffer, but it's not just her, Marco. I mean, they've got Taylor Strickland. I know Dave's really excited to have his daughter with him, and she's good. She's really good. Daisy Powell, Bria Thames, loaded team. Yeah,
they're very good. I think they provide a lot of different aspects to their game that are going to make them very difficult. And you mentioned the 3 key players with Powell and Thames and Stotler, and now with Dave's daughter. And thankfully, she's thankful probably for her mom's genes there, but they're going to be a tough team to handle.
Yeah, if we could go back to the slide where we see with Umpqua right there, this is a team that first in the NWAC in points, first in field goal percentage, first in rebounding, first in assists, first in blocks. Well, I think we might have a 1 or 2 favorite in this tournament right there. I mean, no weaknesses in this squad at all. It's got a question mark. Can their zone defense hold up against high-scoring competition late in games? Yeah, I think so. So let's find out who the Umpqua Riverhawks are going to play in that 10 a.m. game. Who gets this daunting matchup? The Peninsula Pirates. 4th seed in the North, and it's a team that comes in with a sub .500 record, 8-16 on the season. But Allie Crum in her 8th year, just in recent years, they've been solid. So she knows what she's up against, but I know she's glad that it's going to be a great opportunity for her to play another game.
Allison has done a great job there at Peninsula. They won it 2 years ago, and so they know what it's like to be at the tournament. They know what it's like to compete against tough teams, and I'm sure she'll have her team ready to go.
Jamelia, Clarke, and Ashlynn Sharp, 2 of their better players, but points have been hard to come by for Peninsula here, so it's just going to be a great opportunity for the Peninsula Pirates, and we'll see. Give them credit. They've won 5 out of their last 7 games after starting 0-9, so Coach Crum coached them up this year.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people were startled at their slow start, but she's done a great job to get them back, and obviously the league wins are the most important ones.
Hey, they can get out and contest those threes, and we'll see. This is definitely, that would be a monumental upset, but you play the games. All right, let's move on our bracket now. So we've got our first matchup. It's Umpqua taking on Peninsula, and the Columbia Basin Hawks. They get the breakfast ball game. The Columbia Basin Hawks out of the East, the number 2 seed, 21-8 overall. Zach Wild's going back home. Zach Wild, of course, was the assistant to Chet Hovde at Everett there, so I know he's excited to get back. He's from Snohomish, and that's going to be fun for him. Absolutely.
He did a great job with Chet while he served as his assistant, and has taken over a really good program at CBC and kept it right at the level that they're used to having.
All right, Alexis Castro, Sabine Ko, good players. They play good defense. They give up just 59 points a game. And so this is going to be a great team to watch. So let's see who the Columbia Basin Hawks are going to play in that early game. They'll be taking on the Centralia Trailblazers, the always tough Trailblazers. This could be a real grinded out game right here. 2 teams that are pretty solid defensively.
Absolutely. I think both are going to get after each other, and we'll see which one kind of weathers the storm and which one withers under the storm.
Yeah, you look at the Blazers. Now, Kylie Smith, she's had an ankle injury, and the Devaney Kleemeyer kid, I saw her in a boot the other day, so maybe some injury concerns for Caleb Sell's team, but they always seem to be a team that hangs in ball games, and you might go in thinking that you're a favorite in that, and next thing you know, you're down 4 or only up 4 down the stretch, and they're right there. Sells does a great job with Centralia.
Yeah, I think Coach Sells does a great job of maximizing his players, getting the most out of each one of them, and collectively as a team.
Yeah, so hopefully the health will be good for them, and we'll see how that goes. Centralia going up against Columbia Basin. Well, it's time now to check in with an interview, and we've got the head coach with us now of the Umpqua Riverhawks, Dave Strickland. Dave, how you doing today? It'd be kind of nice if I actually turned the speaker on. Dave, how are you today?
So I'm doing good, thanks.
All right. Well, Dave, congratulations on another great year. I mean, this has been special for you, especially with your daughter playing with you and all that talent around you. You've got to be excited about the tournament.
Well, I am. It's a special group of sophomores, and we've been. I said there's 8 of them, and it's been a great 2 years, an awesome 2 years, and then to be able to kind of share such a great year with my daughter Taylor makes it even more special.
All right. Well, Dave, are the Riverhawks having a party today?
They are having a party, and they're having it without me. We had our Southern Region coaches meeting this morning, and so they're meeting at O'Toole's Pub, and they're eating, and they're watching the selection show on the big screen.
All right. So Riverhawks, great to see you. Hope you're having a great time here. Dave, just getting out of the South, I mean, you guys were looking at the perfect season, and all of a sudden that lost last week, but just to get through that division with such good teams night in and night out, you've got to feel that's going to get you ready.
Well, the South is extremely strong, and there's good teams, and they're all well coached, and I don't know, I really deep down inside didn't think that we were going to go through the entire region, without a loss, and and I don't know. I'm hoping that it prepares us. It was kind of a reminder of how our season ended last year, and I'm hoping that it was a wake-up call and it will get us back on track.
All right, Marco, you got a question for Coach?
Dave, I was just wanting to know, you mentioned, you got a squad that's loaded with sophomores. What do you think they've learned from last year that's carried over to this year that you think puts you in a situation to maybe finish the job this year?
Well, I think that, you got to be mentally and physically ready to play, night in and night out. And I think that, and that's kind of the way that we approach things all year. And I think we went on that huge win streak, and there might have been a little bit of slippage there the last couple of weeks, and the game against Lane last week kind of reminded us that, if you're not on top of your game night in and night out, that there's a lot of good teams out there that can beat you. And I think the sophomores all remember that, and be looking forward to another shot at it.
Absolutely. I know they remembered last year up there in Everett. They want to come. I heard all of the coaches in the NWAC, when you said slippage, all rolled their eyes at once on that. They'd take the slippage with your team. Just a great ball club. And first of all, and before I let you go, Dave, hey, your first round matchup. What do you think?
Well, there's no, when you get this far, everybody's good. There's no easy teams. I know 2 years ago, Peninsula played in the NWAC championship team. I know they're extremely well coached. I haven't seen them this year, so I don't really know any details. I won't know until I see them on tape. But I know Alton. I know the coaching staff. And I know they're going to be ready. And like I said, I know that they're extremely well coached.
Well, Dave, congratulations on another great season. Look forward to seeing you in Everett. And, hey, have fun. And Riverhawks, you have fun today. We'll see you in Everett. Thanks, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
All right. That's Dave Strickland, the head coach of the Umpqua Riverhawks. So the first quadrant is set. It'll be the morning matchups. It'll be Umpqua taking on Peninsula at 10 a.m. And our opening game will be Centralia against Columbia Basin. That should be fun. Okay, we're a quarter of a way through. Let's move on now and see who's up next here on our NWAC selection show. And this will be the top seed that plays at 2 in the afternoon, and that is the Bellevue Bulldogs. Bellevue with Coach Mel Stubblefield. They are the #1 seed in the North, coming in with a 20-8 record. And, boy, they've got some good players. They've got Brenda Cotto, Molly Dixon, Sierra Cole, averaging just over 70 points per ball game. And they've had some pretty good wins. Of course, anytime you can beat Everett, that's going to be solid. And this is a team that gets to the free throw line and they play good defense. It's tough to get good looks against this Bellevue team. Yeah,
they do a really good job defensively. They do have a short rotation, which will be interesting in terms of their depth, but they also have 3 or 4 players that are scoring in double figures, so they are going to be a tough matchup.
Well, as you can see on the slide right there, going away from home, that's no issue. 10-2 on the road, that's pretty good. So as you mentioned, the short rotation, foul trouble, they got to stay out of that, but Bellevue's a team to be contended. The winners of the North. So let's see who the Bellevue Bulldogs are going to take on at 2 in the afternoon. And it is the Mount Hood Saints out of Gresham, the #4 seed out of the South. Let's have a look at Mount Hood right now. 12-13, or actually 12-14, coming in with a sub-500 record, but winning record in the always tough South.
Absolutely.
Hey, 9 wins in the South. That shows you better bring it when you're going up against Mount Hood. And Jeremy Vandenborre in his first season, he's got to be thrilled to be into the tournament.
Absolutely. He's done a great job. And as you mentioned, the South is tough. I saw them play yesterday against Lane, and that was a really, really good game. So they, I think, are playing well right now, and that always bodes well when you're playing well right before a tournament.
Yeah, Rachel Watson, she's good. She's a double-double waiting to happen on any time. Courtney Jackson, Mackenzie Long, all really solid players for the Mount Hood Ball Club. So turnovers, a little bit of a problem with the Saints, and hopefully they'll be able to get that shored up when they go up against that Bellevue Bulldog team. So that'll be our matchup there on the quadrant. So that'll be a 2 p.m. game in Everett. So let's go to the next slide and see who's next. The Lower Columbia College Red Devils. Actually, the Red Devils are having their viewing party right next door to us right now. So hello, Red Devils. How are you? Boy, I'll tell you what, the number 2 seed in the West, this is a good team, but this team's not whole right now. They've had 4 ACL injuries this year, including their leading scorer, Taiwana Abbott, who is scuffling with a knee injury right now. So we don't know what her status is going to be. I think the Red Devils are going forward thinking that Ty's not going to be able to play, and that's going to hurt this team.
That's always tough, especially right before the tournament, but Coach Metters does a great job, and they'll be ready. It's probably one of the perennial powers in the NWAC on the women's side, and so they are always a well-prepared team.
Sherita Doherty is an awfully good team, a good player. She played at Idaho. She kind of is almost unselfish to a fault, but she's great. She'll have to step up her scoring in the tournament, and 6 assists per game. That's tied for first in the NWAC, so she gets her teammates involved for sure. And Michonne Wheeler just doesn't miss much. She's a great post player with great hands, good-looking freshman. So they did have a huge win at the top seed, Grays Harbor, earlier in the year. They snapped the Chokers' winning streak there. And the Red Devils have won 15 out of their last 16 ball games. So we'll see if they can battle through those injuries and come forward and get themselves a big victory. Now, who are the Red Devils going to play? Well, that's the big question right now. It's going to be a high noon game, and it will be the North Idaho Cardinals. Good team with Chris Carlson over there in Coeur d'Alene. They're the number 3 seed in the East, and Chris is in his 14th season there, and I know they missed the tournament last year, which was unheard of at North Idaho, yeah. And you know, Chris is back, and this is a formidable team. Yeah,
Chris has done a great job there. They won the national championship a few years back. He coached at Big Bend for years, and so his teams are always well prepared. They shoot the ball well. I think they're going to have a good opportunity to make some noise. And just want to say hi to our friends out there in North Idaho. We got a big sponsor out there, Carlson's Canoe and Rafting Company. And so just want to make sure we said hello to them.
All right, there you go. Hey, product placement, you got to love that. Sierra Dvorak, great player. Sydney Hubby, Ronnie Harris, Whitney Meyer. She's like the microwave. She can shoot coming off the bench. And this is a team you just cannot sleep on at all. And they will steal the ball away from you. They're first in the NWAC in steals. And, we'll see. A 7-8 record against tournament teams, but with that coaching, Coach DeVillipis there, he's going to have them fired up for sure. The assistant coach this year, and the Cardinals and Red Devils will be a matchup that we will have. So, do we have Coach with us? We do indeed. The coach of the Bellevue Bulldogs, Mel Stubblefield, is with us. Mel, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good.
All right. Well, congratulations on a great year. Congratulations winning the North. What are you thinking now that you've found out who you're playing and what's ahead of you?
We're excited. We're looking for the matchup. Everybody at this time is real good. It's going to be a great matchup for us.
Yeah, well, Coach, you've got an interesting team. It seems like they're mentally tough. Going on the road's not a big deal, as we mentioned.
Yeah. The team is very mentally tough. We have gotten down in some games pretty big, and we've dug out of the hole pretty good on some of those, and some of them it's been just too big of a gap, but they have some grit. I can definitely tell you that.
Have you seen the Mount Hood Saints this year?
I have not.
All right, so you go in off film and you get ready to go, and the 2 p.m. start time, that's got to be pretty good for you.
Yes, it's a good time for us.
All right. Marco, you got a question for Mel?
Mel, you have 3 or 4 of your players who score in double figures. Can you talk a little bit about the diversity of your scoring?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, the biggest thing that we've always preached this season is defend, rebound, and share the ball. And by us sharing the ball, that's the reason why we have multiple players in double figures.
Outstanding. All right. Well, very good. And you look at your quadrant, and you see a Hood that you've got to play. Then you've got North Idaho and Lower Columbia on the other side. You've got to feel pretty good that you can get into that Final Four.
Yeah. It's a good squad bracket. Tough teams, and we're looking forward to it.
All right. Well, Mel, congratulations again. Thank you very much for taking the time with us today.
Thank you.
All right. That's Mel Stubblefield of the Hue Bulldogs. And so, Marco, we're halfway through this thing. The NWAC Women's Selection Show continues on here today. And first of all, on that half, what do you take when you see that? Obviously, on that side, your clear favorite is the Umpqua Riverhawks there.
I believe so, but I'm really intrigued by the matchup with North Idaho and Lower Columbia, and then the winner of the Bellevue Mount Hood game playing the winner of North Idaho and Lower Columbia. I think that's going to be a tough little bracket there.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, let's move on and continue on to the next side of the bracket. I guess this is the one in the west where the Grays Harbor Chokers are your #1 seed out of the west. And what a special year it's been for Chad Allen this year out there on the coast in Aberdeen. I mean, this team went on a 22-game winning streak and just had a great, they lost to Walla earlier in the year and then just took off. And I'm sure that loss probably made them tougher. This is a good ball club led by Alexia Thrower. She averages 26.3 points a game. Dynamic player.
Yeah, they've done a great job. Coach Allen has really turned that whole program around. He's changed that culture. And this is a great reward for them to win the West Region title and come in as the #1 seed. They've just done a solid job there.
Well, they played Everett. They beat Lower Columbia at Michael Bus Gym, and just a high-scoring team. 3rd in the NWAC in scoring. They love to shoot those threes out there. And it's not just that. They'll rebound and they'll share it. So defensively, maybe a question mark with them, but the way they can score it, and if Thrower starts getting off, then you're in trouble. So a formidable team, the Grays Harbor Chokers this year. And hopefully we'll hook up with Coach Allen here in just a second. He can talk a little bit more about it. So now I guess we try to find out who Grays Harbor is going to play in the 6 p.m. matchup. It will be the Big Bend Vikings. Preston Wilkes and Big Bend. Wow, this could be a huge matchup right here with a whole lot of points scored. Here's Big Bend, 20-9 overall, 9-7 in the East, and they've got some good players. Sonny Martinez is solid. Callie Groening, very good. And they've defeated North Idaho and Yakima Valley, and it's a team where you can't just key on one.
No, they are very good offensively. You mentioned the Yakima Valley win, 114 to 110, an incredible game. And so Preston's been at Big Bend for a long time. He's done a great job with this particular group, and it's going to be exciting. And once again, want to thank the people out there in Moses Lake. Wilkes Farming Services and Industries have done a great job for us. So looking forward to it.
All right, outstanding. So Big Bend. Sometimes if they're not hitting the threes, that can hurt you a little bit. I guess every team can say that if you rely on the threes, but they're just really good at it. So they lead the NWAC in 3 points made. So they're not going to change what they do at this point, right? No,
this is going to be a race up and down, I think, and it's going to be just a shooter's paradise.
Oh, man. So that's a very tantalizing matchup in the first round of the NWAC tournament, Grays Harbor and Big Bend. All right, so that'll be at 6 p.m. on Thursday. So on the other side of that quadrant, let's take a look. It'll be the Everett Trojans, so the home team playing at 2 in the afternoon. And that should be okay. You get a lot of kids that can just walk from class and head on over there, and this is a good team. Chet Hubdy, he's a treasure up there. He's in his 40th season as the head coach of the Everett Trojans. He's seen it all.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chet is one of those coaches, I think, that really can adjust to his squad. And so over the 40 years, we've seen them play a whole variety of ways, and they are doing a really solid job right now coming into the tournament.
All right, well, one word, Uju. Uju, you don't even have to worry about the last name, huh? Everybody knows around Everett Uju, and in the NWAC, what an outstanding player she is. 19 points, 3 points, 10 rebounds, and I mean, she just really does it all. She had a school record 45 this year against Clarke. Uju can do it all. She's just a great player, and it all pretty much goes around her. Absolutely.
The key for her is to stay on the court, not to get into foul trouble, because she affects their team so greatly. So her presence on the floor is absolutely imperative for them.
Alexis Biggerstaff, a good-looking sophomore, averages over 15 a game, and Aloha Salem, a transfer that came in there. She's been real solid, too, in all three phases of the game. So they've defeated Bellevue, they've beaten Skagit, so they've had some good wars there in the north. And as you mentioned, just a lot of offense there and unselfish offense. That's kind of fun. I know that's the Everett fans there probably had a good time watching that team.
Absolutely. When you move the ball like that, everybody benefits, and so it's fun to watch that, and it's fun to play that way.
All right. Very good. So there's the home team. Who are they going to play against? It'll be the Clackamas Cougars. Jim Martineau's got another great ball club coming in. A team that good that's number 3 in the South, 21-6 overall, and Gentleman Jim in his 16th season, and he's only missed the tournament once. He's won it before. Clackamas always formidable in this tournament.
Absolutely. They are offensively, Jim always has them running and shooting all the time, and they're never out of a game. They seem to always stay within whatever they're doing and don't get flustered, and Jim's done a great job out there, and I think that's going to be a fun matchup.
Yeah, well, Jim gives licenses to shoot, because that's another team that loves to jack up the three. They lead the NWAC in threes attempted, and I believe they're second in threes made, so they will definitely do that. But give them credit, because this is a team that also will make the extra pass. They average 16 assists a game, so yeah. One more, you always hear that, one more, and somebody's going to be open in the corner or out there. And the other thing that I'm impressed by Clackamas is they're really good on the back end of their defense, because they blocked 5.5 shots per game. That's second in the NWAC, so pretty good. Nicole Hermosia Wright, really good player. Mm-hmm. So is Casey Mock, but they've got more than those two. This Clackamas team is pretty good. So that should be an excellent ball game, I should say. Everett and Clackamas. That's a dandy.
I think that bracket, if you look at that bracket, both of those matchups I think are going to be really fun to watch and really fun to be a part of. I think it's going to be wide open. Yeah. Wide open.
Yeah, so there you go. Out of the West Quadrant, if you will, you've got Big Bend and Grays Harbor, Everett, and Clackamas. And right now I believe we've got a special guest that is with us here today, and that is the head coach of the Grays Harbor Chokers. Chad Allen's with us. Chad, how you doing?
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Coach, congratulations. What a special time it's been in Aberdeen this year.
It's a special year, not only because of our record, just how well our kids have really kind of bonded together and just made this special on and off the court this year.
Yeah, well, it starts with Alexia Thrower. She's awfully good. I know you teammates don't look at it as a one-person team, because it can't be to be as successful as you guys are, but she's pretty dynamic, isn't she?
Oh, she's dynamic, yeah, on and off the court, but she's a mismatch for a lot of people, and the key is just she's also extremely unselfish, so also give just as many assists, and her teammates' success allows her to do what she does as well.
All right, well, what do you think of your matchup with Big Bend?
Fans better come and watch, because it may be both teams over 100 points, but it's going to be a pretty dynamic game. I've seen Big Bend. They're well coached. They work extremely hard, and they're from an extremely tough conference. So I expect it to be a battle and coming down to the last couple minutes.
All right, Marco, you have a question for Coach?
Chad, each year your program's gotten better under your direction, and I think you came in there and you had to change the culture. Can you talk a little bit about that and how that's led you to where you are right now with your team?
Yeah, the culture at Grays Harbor College has changed for a number of reasons, and it's not just me. So We've had a new president, our athletic director input, and just all the programs that are there. So we're really creating that family atmosphere and the culture of being able to get us in this position. And then for myself, I just had to find the right players that would believe in our program and believe in our system, and then put the work in to achieve that. And each year we've added pieces, and the kids have just bought in, and we're at where we're at because they have.
Tremendous year, Coach. Congratulations to you. What's the over-under for the Grays Harbor Big Bend game? Are we going to go with 200, perhaps? Who knows? It might come down to a stop, though. You know, you never know, right, Coach?
It might. It might. Hopefully we can get one this year.
All right. Well, congratulations, Chad. Thank you for your time, and good luck in the tournament.
Thanks for having me on. Look forward to being there.
All right. That's Chad Allen of the Grays Harbor Chokers. So, as you mentioned, Marco, Clackamas, Everett, Big Bend, Grays Harbor, kind of afternoon, right before prime time. That's going to be a special afternoon in the first round.
Absolutely. That's going to be a wild bracket.
All right. So let's move on. We've got one more quarter quadrant to look at here in the NWAC Championship Tournament. And, of course, it'll be the nighttime affair, and the Walla Walla Warriors are the team that will be the #1 seed on that one. What a team. This has been an amazing year for Bobby, the head coach. In her 19th year, she wins 73% of her games, and this is her 17th NWAC appearance, 2 titles. She's been in 5 championship games, and she remembers that championship game last year, and that's why she's fired up to get back to it again.
Coach Hazeltine has done a great job at Walla Walla. Her teams are always well prepared. They're fundamental. They're fun to watch because they're coached well.
Yeah. They have just 1 loss, but it's not to an NWAC school. I believe it was, if my memory serves me, it was the tournament in Yakima where they put a squad together, and that Shawnee Schimmel gal who was playing for Louisville, I think she went out for 33 or something against them. So special year for sure. And as you can see, signature wins. They've defeated Lane. They've defeated Columbia Basin, and they have faced 6 of the ranked teams and won them all. And so they're going to be battle tested.
Yeah, I saw them play 3 times this year, and they just did a great job. They really move the ball. As I said earlier, they're fundamental, so they box off. They make the extra pass, and they're very unselfish. They do a great job.
Yeah, another team that does not shy away from the 3, and they're good at it for sure. They lead in the 3-point percentage, second in the NWAC in field goal percentage, free throw percent. Don't foul them. They'll burn you there. They, as a team, are, I believe, just over 75%, and they just don't make mistakes. The fewest turnovers. If it's over 13 turnovers a game, then you're not pleased about it. I mean, they just take care of the ball.
Yeah, I saw them play a team that tried to three-quarter, half-court trap them, and they just absolutely shredded them. And they do a really good job. They move the ball, they find the open spot, and they attack.
All right, well, the Walla Walla Warriors definitely go in as one of the favorites of this tournament. And so a #4 seed from somewhere, and some folks have probably already figured this out as the way it works, and it is going to be the Highline Thunderbirds, the 4th seed out of the West. Damian Crump in his 2nd season, and if you would have asked him over the holidays how things are going, he probably would have said, we're in disarray right now, but I give Coach Crump an awful lot of credit. He pulled this team together, and they came up with some huge wins this year, and they came to Lower Columbia and just played tremendous. Came up with a big win there. They defeated Skagit Valley. That's got to be a huge win. And Aileen Kay and Sharon Ajaya, those are good players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've done a good job, and I know the administration there at Highline is very high on Coach Crump. He really has done a great job of getting the team together and making a run here to get into the tournament.
One of the least penalized teams there, so they don't foul much, and it's just it's daunting. It's definitely daunting for the T-Birds, but I'm just impressed that they're going to get at least one more game, and that's a testament to them hanging in there.
Absolutely, and you never know, one more game.
All right, so that'll be the 8 o'clock game coming up on Thursday, Walla Walla and Highline, and that leaves us with just one more game in the tournament in the opening round of the Sweet 16, and of course the Lane Titans, the #2 seed in the South there, And Greg Sheely has done it again, another outstanding ball club. Greg's in his 19th season, and he has 634 wins. That's just what he does. He wins. 5 NWAC titles, so whenever Lane walks in the gym, well, you're not surprised when they're in the Final Four or playing for a championship.
Yeah, Greg's done a great job, and he's won a variety of ways, but he just, each year, they are always in the hunt, and probably the most dominant program in women's basketball in the NWAC for the last 10 years.
Unbelievable. They got so many good players. We have 2 of them listed on the slide right there, and of course that's short shifting them. Sarah Hall's awfully good. The Carrillo kid, really good. She shoot, and she's outstanding. Rachel Fielder, Sierra Carrier, 4 players in double figures, and 4 really good players. And really, this Amber Lease kid is really kind of what makes it happen. She is first in the NWAC, over 6.4 assists per game. So Coach Sheely, I know, is very excited to be able to unleash Leash and have her get the ball out there. This team's the real deal.
Absolutely. I saw them play yesterday. She gets the ball to people in the right spot at the right time. And the fact that they play great defense, I think they're number 2 in the conference in defense and in rebounds. And so they win those battles, the rebounds, the assist battles, and they're going to be tough to handle.
Yeah, and come in with huge confidence with their win over Umpqua the other day. So they know they can do that. And so it wouldn't surprise me at all if Greg's right there again, the Lane Titans. An awfully good ball club. So, Lane, who is Lane going to play? They've got the 10 p.m. game, the late night game, and it's the Skagit Valley Cardinals. Old Coach Epperson, he's at it again, coaching his 41st year. And Marco, until this season, he had never lost more than 12 games. That is unbelievable. They come in at 13 and 14. So some folks may say, hey, off year at Skagit, but he's completely turned this around. Great turnaround job, because they got off to a really tough start, and then they've played well down the stretch.
Yes, Steve, obviously 40-plus years in the NWAC's done a great job, a level of consistency that's probably not been matched by many people. And you're right, they started off slow, and he got them going, and now they're here at the tournament with an opportunity to make some noise.
Yeah, Joan Smith is really good, dynamic player, averaging over 15 points a game, and Katie Skipworth, really solid, over 10 points a game as well. They've had some big wins, as you can see, at Everett, at Bellevue. Again, this is a team that has a winning record on the road and a losing record at home. I know that's kind of against the norm, but great job by Coach Epperson again to get his team and in this position, and certainly a tough matchup against Lane. So there you have it. It's all set. The NWAC basketball championships in Everett have the whole thing put together right here after the draw and the reveal here today. And one thing that you've got to mention here is, you know, you try to look and you see Walla there and Walla Lane. That's going to be kind of a tough one there. And speaking of Walla, we've got the head coach. Do we have the legend with us right now? Oh, outstanding. Bobby Hazeltine with us. And Bobby, congratulations, another great year.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Outstanding. Well, don't schedule a game against the elite team anymore. I guess that was your only blemish, right?
Yeah, going in, we didn't know that was going to happen. Teams dropped out. So, yeah, we played a really, really good team and had no idea that would be our only loss, because we play in an awfully tough region in the East. So, but our kids are playing well, and we're really excited for next week.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I mean, Coach, that's how can you get through that with all those road trips and those tough teams? I mean, you got to be really proud that night after night your team is able to step up.
Yeah, we're really proud of them. They've just done a great job. The East region is unbelievable, and I think that the toughest part is, you know, getting out of the East and getting to the NWAC tournament. Once you get there, you're just more relieved than anything. But our region is tough, and the teams that made it are playing really well right now. So I think we could all make some noise if we play well.
Absolutely. Well, You're first in three-point percentage, first in free throw percentage, second in field goal percentage, and you're first in fewest turnovers per game. Is that the one you're most proud of?
Yep. Yeah, the girls will tell you, at the beginning of the year, we told them that's one thing we don't like is turnovers, and this team has done a really nice job of taking care of the ball, particularly when you take into consideration how much we run. So done a great job there, and we do shoot it pretty well. And so we're just excited about what could happen. Hopefully we'll continue to shoot well next week.
All right, Marco?
Coach, could you talk a little bit about how you guys maximize your possessions? I've seen you play 3 times this year, and with the lack of turnovers, it just, you guys are so efficient. Can you talk about how that transpires, and especially with the 2 guards that probably lead that charge for you?
Yeah, we drill that kind of stuff in practice. We'll put so many possessions on the clock, and then we're all about efficiency, and we want to score on every single possession. We talk all the time about empty possessions. So we at least want a good shot. So we drill that all the time, and I think our players do a really good job of that. And yeah, we have obviously a couple sophomore guards are leading us, but we have 5 sophomores who've really done a nice job of, kind of letting the freshmen know our big thing is efficiency here. And so it's carried over to the freshmen, and we're just really proud of how well we've played this year.
All right, well, but as you know, it's a whole 0-0 thing right now, and I know you're excited to be back to try to avenge that final game last year.
Oh yeah, I mean that's been on our mind for a long time. But you're right. Everybody's 0-0 when they get to the tournament, and anything can happen. And so we're going to focus on our first game and hope we play well then.
All right, well, Coach, congratulations on another great year. We look forward to seeing you in Everett next week, and thanks for taking the time to be with us.
Okay, thanks, Kirk. Thanks, Marco.
You bet. That's the Hall of Famer, Bobby Hazeltine. There you go, Marco. What do you think? This is going to be fun. This is really going to be fun.
Absolutely, and that's what we want. We want it to be exciting for the kids and for the fans, and so it's going to be interesting. As Bobby said there, everybody's 0-0. So everybody's got a shot, and we'll see who takes advantage of mistakes and who's shooting the ball well and who takes care of things on the defensive end.
All right, well, the Everett Invasion is just a few days away. We'll have the first-round matchups on Thursday, and then, of course, it'll be the Saturday, Sunday of the men, and our men's selection show is coming up in just a bit. I'd like to thank a lot of folks here that put this all together. Justin Ford, the producer of the program here. Thanks to Allie Krause, Spencer Rowland, and Tracy Swisher from the NWAC staff. And thanks to you for joining us. Nice to have the boss with us, and this has been fun again. Thanks to all of the teams that were at their viewing parties. Be safe out there, and get into the gym, because you've got just a couple of days to now scout your opponents and get ready to go. And it's going to be a fun time in Everett. So for Marco, this is Kirk Rowland. Hope you've enjoyed the NWAC Selection Show. Have a great afternoon.